Dynasty Points. What do you need to know? Let's talk about it. What up, though? Man, it's your favorite cookout uncle, man. I'm back at it. You already know what it is, man. But look, let's get right into it. I ain't here to waste your time. You already know. You see a lot of videos that wasting your time. I ain't wasting your time, man. Let's talk directly about it. We're here to talk Dynasty Points. And why? Because it's a new thing. It's sort of confusing. And a lot of people don't like reading it. So this is what I'm here to do, here to read for you. Not actually the blog, but give you the synopsis of it, you know what I'm saying? And just give you my opinion on what it is, and just give you an overall view of what's to come in college football 27, man. So without further ado, let's talk about Dynasty Points. So first things first, you already know I got my handy dandy note sheet. I'm always going to use that, but as we talk about this is the things that are what we call very important when it comes to your Dynasty Points, because your Dynasty Points is really going to make or break your whole blueprint of your program. And what do I mean by that? Meaning this, you're going to get a certain amount of Dynasty Points each season. Each season they're going to get you. Now, depending on the level of your program, i.e. stars, when it used to be 5 stars, 4 stars, 4.5, whatever it is, that's going to determine how many Dynasty Points you get per season. So you got to keep an eye out for that. And what is the basis? So what really contributes and drives your points? It's the conference prestige, it's the brand exposure, and it's going to be the stadium atmosphere, and also program tradition. Now, these grades are going to dictate where you're going to be at in these points, right? So if these grades begin to drop, so do your points. So you want to be in a conference that's very competitive and that stays high, because in doing so, then those points, you'll get more Dynasty Points at the end of the season, starting for your next year, so that you can go ahead and max out with your points and how you allocate them. But now, the crazy thing about that is all these grades fluctuate, and they're on a yearly budget. You don't get them throughout the season. You get them at the beginning of the year or the end of the year of that season, and then that's it, right? So that's exactly how they do it. Now, you can earn extra Dynasty Points, and by doing that, it depends on how you perform during the season. So if you win a conference, obviously you're going to get some extra points for that. Reaching the college football playoffs, they're going to give you more points for that. Winning a bowl game, if you didn't make it to the college football playoffs, they're going to give you points for that. And also winning the national championship. So you already know you're going to get points for that. So all these things, while you won't get them points immediately, they will be within the next budget year. So it's basically like a corporate business, man. Every single year you're going to have a fiscal year. Within that fiscal year, you're going to have this money or so-called Dynasty Points allotted for you to use. And then depending on your performance, you'll have more for the following year. So that's how it is. So that makes it to where you got to perform and you really can't take no time off. That's going to be the most important thing. But not only is that a unique thing, you also get your AD, which is your athletic director for those that don't know, but we say AD. But your AD can literally give you extra points too, because if they have certain things like, hey, make sure you beat your rival, or we need to reach the college football playoffs, whatever they have as far as laid out for you and their terms and conditions of you as a head coach, that also gives you extra Dynasty Points. So while you may start off with a certain number, let's just say 1,000, if you hit all these criteria and you'll be able to meet all the goals of the AD, you could mess around and probably have anywhere between 1,500 points, or maybe a little bit more, or maybe a little bit less, depending on how the game breaks it down. But either way, that's how you're going to do it. So this is basically representing your financial impact as how your season develops, is how it's going to affect you with your money. And so the reason why I think that's a good thing is because now you're going to have individuals having to actually play. Because if you take a back seat and just willy-nilly go through the season, then it's going to hurt you at the end of the year when it comes to trying to recruit for the following year. This is not like 26 where you can just take a season off and then next year you can just focus on recruiting and get better. Nah, all these Dynasty Points have a job to do, and you need as many points as possible to be successful. And with that being said, we're going to go to the next topic so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Because with this coaching, man, oh man, there's a unique thing. Now, before we get into coaching, we gotta establish a few things. There's three, and I do mean three major components that you need to understand that you're gonna be affected by using your actual Dynasty points. And what are those three? Obviously gonna be coaching staff, it's gonna be your facility, and it's gonna be recruiting. Now, we're not gonna talk about recruiting because that nil deal recruiting is a whole video within itself, which I will be coming out because it's very lengthy, and I didn't want to try to do this because I didn't want this to be 40 minutes long again, like I learned from my first video. I want it to be short and sweet so you can look up and get what you need and keep it moving, right? So with that being said, there are three major things that you can do with your Dynasty points, and like I said, it's the coaching staff, facility, and the recruiting, right? And the key thing, let's talk about it. It's going to be your coaching staff. But before we talk about the coaching staff, I got to make sure I say this. Your Dynasty points do not roll over. I'm going to say it again for those in the back because maybe children playing. Your Dynasty points do not roll over. That means this. Use them or lose them. You know, if you've been in the Army, you know them type of days. You know they call them when you got leave. They say use them or lose them. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what them points are. So the points you get allocated for that year, for that season, you might want to end that year with 0. Because if you don't, they don't roll over. This ain't anytime minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So period, point blank, that's just what it is. So just know that when you're dealing with it. Now, when we talk about coaching staff, as I'm looking at my handy dandy note sheet, you know what I'm saying? Not only do you have to worry about your coordinators, but you also got to worry about the supporting staff. Because we never really talked about supporting staff when it came to college football 26, because you never had it. But now, this is what you got with your so-called supporting staff, right? Let me say it right so we can get it. So, you got graduate assistants, recruiting staff, fundraising staff, you got a fundraising team, trainers, and analysts. That's usually your supporting team that makes it a successful program. So it's not just your coordinators and your head coach. You got all those in the background, you know what I'm saying? And so now, in 27, they're representing those in the background. So your supporting staff can only be hired, hear me, can only be hired in preseason. Once you hire those individuals or fire them, they're gone for the rest of the year. So that's when you do it. So it's in the preseason. Now, we all know that when you're doing your coordinators, that's going to be the championship week where you can hire and fire those. And we're going to get to that. But I just want everybody to understand that when it comes to your staffing, your support staff, you can only hire and fire them in the preseason. So that's one thing too. Now listen, when it comes to your supporting staff, you can have up to 5 slots. So obviously it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like in somewhat of a tier system. But you can have up to 5 slots. And with those up to 5 slots, these are some of the things that it's going to affect. So it can affect the decrease the Dynasty point cost for hiring other support staffs. So that means you can have one where it don't cost as much to hire the next individual. You can reduce nil expectations from players. That one right there is going to be a plus because some of these players probably going to have crazy amount of points that they wish they can get. And as we're not used to this is going to be the thorn in our side until we get used to it. So now to have one of your staffing support be able to sort of reduce that number, that's a good look. You're going to need that. It increases your weekly recruiting hours so you can get the guys you need, sort of like analysts, you know what I'm saying? Then you increase your off-season player progression. I look at that as your strength and conditioning coaches, basically. Those are going to be the ones that help to get these guys ready for the next season. And then you can increase your Dynasty point fundraise. You can increase your Dynasty points through fundraising during the annual budget. So all these things are helping you out to basically build your program so you can have a blueprint for how you want your program to be, right? But in the same point, like I said, the supporting staff has a tier system, and it's 4 tiers. You got bronze, silver, gold, and you got platinum. And the higher the tier, the more money you gonna pay. We already know that. Like, this is America. We already know what capitalism is. The greater somebody is, the more you gonna pay for them, right? And that's no different in this game. So depending on how much Dynasty points you get allocated, if you can swing it, you can get some very, very nice supporting staff members that can go ahead and boost the points that you need. Now, I want you to understand something. All these points don't just come out one time. This is a reoccurring thing. Like, people need to be paid yearly. Nobody getting paid just once. So understand, choose your adventure wisely, because all these things are going to help or hurt your program, right? And so so we got that taken care of. We understand that. But now, if you have your coordinator and you want to keep them up, then you need to renegotiate their salary. So if your coordinator done a great job, and now we're in the championship week, and they went from a C minus to, let's say, a B plus, and you don't want to lose them because you see the progression that they're doing and the effect that they have on your team. Then you can go in there, and let's say right now your coordinator is getting 185 points, getting 185 Dynasty points. Well, you can go ahead and negotiate with him and bump him up to maybe 200, 210. And the reason why you're doing that, and I know a lot of you like, man, I ain't giving them nothing. But listen, the reason why you want to do that is because if your team is moving and they playing like they're supposed to play and everything's going according to plan, then you want to keep that staff. You want to keep it as normal as possible. You don't want turnover. And so if you don't do that, i.e., any of the dynasty league that you're in, they can go ahead and try to poach your coach by sending him, hey man, we'll pay you this to be over here since you ain't getting that over there. And so this is why you can increase their salary, so to speak, so that you can keep them happy and keep them home, man. And that's what you're gonna have to do if you want to build a powerhouse program. That's just basically what it is at this point. So depending on how your recruiter may do, they can also get other jobs, obviously, and get viewed. But let's say you don't like your recruiter, you want to fire him, right? I mean, not recruiter, excuse me. Let's say you don't like your coordinator, you want to fire him. Okay, cool. So when you get rid of this coordinator, in 26 you only could select like 2 people, 2 or whatever, 3, and they were buns, boo water, right? But now in this one, you can select up to 6 people that you can have on either side, defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator. So if you get into both, you can have up to 12 people that you've tried to interview, and you can literally send them a nil deal package or whatever it's going to be. Hey man, we'll pay you this amount of much salary. And you can also send people that's available, but you can also send the people that's already on staff too. So you can pull those guys as well. So you have a lot of opportunity to try to fill your staff. Now again, same as before, if you don't get it filled up, then they're going to give you a default user. Like, you know what I mean? And you're going to get somebody that you've never seen before, and hopefully they can work for you, which they probably won't, but that's what you're going to get. But I like this touch because this is just more realistic. Now you need to go to the extra mile. It's just not rinse and repeat for all my dynasty players who just played. It's just not set stuff up and just let it go. Now you have to actively be looking at everything, because if you don't, you're going to get burned, man. So that's that. I like that touch, man. I'm glad they did it with the staffing and also with the coordinators, just how they set this whole thing up. So that's kind of nice. But now we got to talk about the one thing that's going to be very, very new to us, because we just used to seeing it as a grade and ignoring it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But now you can't. So next topic, let's talk about these facilities, man. Now, I think this is a dope touch. I ain't going to lie. I think this is dope. I know we're not used to it, but it's just something different, and I like it. Now, with facilities, right? With your facility, it basically represents your strength and conditioning department, your recovery resources, your training equipment, your nutrition, and your sports performance, and the environment of the players, right? And for the players. So, like when you go up to like Michigan and you see these old facilities, training facilities with all this beautiful equipment with the Block M everywhere, like, you know what I'm saying? All that is an aesthetic that people love to see. And also with having a good strength and conditioning team, and just recovery in general and all this is what helps boost your players, right? So this alone is a big deal. And this is something that you just can't ignore. And again, this thing fluctuates and we can make changes to it, and we're going to get into that right now. But there's a lot you can do with this, with your facility, man. And this is why it's important. So involving your facility, it actually comes in 5 different tiers. There's five facility tiers, right? So the first one is a basic facility, which is an F. So if your grade's an F, you got a basic facility. If you got a D- to a D+, which is really the only thing in the middle is a D, pause. But that right there is competitive facility, right? Then you got the premier facility, which is a C- to a C+. You have the elite facility, which is a B- to a B+. And then you have the national powerhouse, which is an A- to an A+. Now, understand that each one of these tiers, they cost money, like I told you. And this is, again, an annual fee to keep it moving, right? So I'm just letting you know that, so we can get our head wrapped around. Annually, we're going to be losing so many points off the jump. Like, there's a budget, and just know within this budget, this part is already taken care of. So just know that that's going to be there. So your facility tiers determine also how many slots you'll have. And your equipment slots is what you're able to put in there to go ahead and start having special abilities that you can add to your players, right? And what do I mean by that when I say special abilities? So we'll get into that in a few seconds, but we got to talk about upgrading your facility, right? So when you upgrade your facility, it's pretty simple. If you go from a B minus to a B plus, or a B minus to an A minus, right? To do that, you're going to do an upgrade. And when you do an upgrade, it's going to go under construction. And so it's going to be under construction throughout the whole off season. I'll say that again. It's going to be under construction throughout the whole off season, and it's going to be available during the preseason in the following year. Now, if I read that correctly on what they said when they said the following year, I'm thinking they mean the year you not playing, but the year after. If my math is mathing. I could be wrong. I hope I am for the sake of Dynasty, but if not, that's a good touch, because again, it does take a while for you to build a facility and have it available. So if that's the case, then it's not going to be available to the following year. So just know that when you upgrade your facility. Now, if you want to downgrade your facility, you can downgrade your facility and you will be able to upgrade back to the facility that you were at, and it won't be as much as if you weren't there before. So just know that it'll come with a discounted rate. Now, why would I say downgrade and upgrade? Well, like I told you, this is an annual maintenance fee. That's what it's going to cost you each year, depending on what grade that your facility's at. And so you might be strapped for cash. Your Dynasty points might be running low. And if they're running low, then you have the option to downgrade your athletic facility so that you can have a little bit more points allocated to you to do what you need to do. And then, like I said, you can bump it back up. And then when you bump it back up, it won't cost you the full price, but it'll cost you a discounted rate. And so that's how they do it. Now, when you have these tiers, you can have up to 5 slots, like I said. And within these 5 slots, this is the things that the equipment will affect when it comes to your players. So increase your athletic facilities grade within your current facility range. So basically, if we're in the elite range and we're B minus, we can add an equipment slot that'll take us to a B plus or a B plus, right? So that's what it does. It bumps you up. You also can increase the duration of the equipment's effect, which means that whatever you pick, it'll have a longer effect to it. Now it reduces the practice wear and tear. Practice wear and tear. You heard that. That means in practice, Joker's wear and tear we got to manage, right? So it reduces that. It also reduces the season health usage, meaning we know throughout the season when you just running your line, you're running back into the ground. This is going to reduce some of that health usage so they can actually last and without having the possibility of getting injured, right? And then also it reduces practice injury chances. So if you don't know, basically, however we manage our practicing schedule and what we got doing, they're definitely going to get wear and tear from it, and they're definitely going to get they can possibly be injured. So these things we got to be mindful of when we're setting up our schedule. As you can see, they've given us a lot more tools in the tool bag to deal with when it comes to building a dynasty. So now we're just setting things up and just advancing and advancing and advancing. It's a lot you got to do now. Take a look at, make sure you're covering and everything. So I don't think we're going to be able to get through some of these as fast as we used to, i.e. 24-hour leagues, maybe out the window until we get the hang of this. But it's a lot to do, man. It's a lot you're going to be responsible for. And you don't want any of these things to fall to the wayside because it may hurt your dynasty chances, man. But with that being said, man, we just went over some of the key factors when it comes to the dynasty points. Again, another video is coming dealing with the recruiting portion. So do not worry about that. I'm going to cover that recruiting portion of that nil deal because it's a lot to talk about. But as of right now, what we just went over is also just as important because this is a totally different field, man. EA is giving us a different experience, and right now, from what I'm reading and what I understand, I definitely like it, and this is definitely going to be better than what we had. And if you are enjoying this content, which I hope you are, about college football 27, because July 2nd is going down, and you know what type of time we're going to be on, man, because I am there. I can't wait for that Thursday. Boy, we got 2 weeks, and it's going down. But if you're enjoying what I got going on, then, I need your help, because, without you, this algorithm kind of, plays with you. So I needed to move forward. So if you could, out the deep part of your heart and the kindness of your heart, could you smash the like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you have not, as it is only a thumb movement entertainment, and it helps me out tremendously. And there is no me without you. Also, if you didn't know, I will be live streaming as soon as the game drops at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on that Thursday, and I will be on YouTube and I will be on Twitch. So pull up on your one time for the one time, 9 a.m., boy. We getting it in early and often, man. So y'all just know that. Also, we have the Maize Out Monday, which happens every Monday at 8, 7, or 8 p.m. We try to lean on 8 to make sure it's consistent. But it's either 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I need you to go ahead, subscribe to that channel, because I'm over there. We doing live content about the Michigan Wolverines, man. That's me and my man Maize Out, my man Maize, and we got my man Mania and my man Lich, man. So you can just pull up on us and have a great time. We can talk football, man. But with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and may God continue to bless you and your family. And if ain't nobody told you that they love you today, just know that Jesus loves you, man. Peace and love, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.